So healthy masculine energy, healthy feminine energy means to have the courage to trust in your inner guidance. Whatever that inner guidance is that is coming forward for you. But it has to come from the heart, guys. It can't come from your solar plexus. Welcome to the energy update for weeks 26, actually. It's a special for the time between the 16th and 23rd of June, this solstice time. And why am I paying extra attention to this? This is easily explainable. We all understand that there are planetary things that affect us, such as lunar cycles, and so do the solar cycles. And twice a year, whenever there is a shift change, so to speak, between the longest day and the longest night. So right now it is the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice energy in the southern hemisphere that we're feeling. And because these are energies, they are more in the unseen. This is something that when we train to tune into collective energies, we can see patterns. If we are not trained, we might just experience them. But this is really the nature of all these unseen things, is that we are experiencing them, that we are under the effects of them, but that we can't necessarily explain them. So here is my humble attempt to explain to you what it is that is influencing some of your personal well-being, your mood, perhaps, and the thoughts that are going through you. So if you've been following me here on YouTube or here on Skype, then you know that I've been doing these energy updates, these energy tips for more than 10 years now. And there's a whole community, a sacred self-healing community that has formed around this, where we actually work these energies. You know that I have been talking about bifurcation for a very long time, and this particular solstice has to do with this bifurcation sort of pivot in our societies, in our collective energies, because we are now actually able to see what it is that is bifurcating. Just real quick, what is bifurcation? It's when you're standing at a point in your life where you have two ways to go and you have to make a choice, and whatever that choice is produces a new reality for you, produces a new future for you. And when I predicted this years ago, it was kind of difficult to see how this would come about. This is obviously way more visible now, and not so much the obvious, like say the corona situation worldwide, but what it has done to us. There is something that is prevalent right now in all of us that we might or might not be aware of, and that is that we have experienced a new type of conditioning, a fear conditioning. And this fear conditioning has to do with all these most recent events, all these lockdowns and fears that we had to deal with. And they reminded us that we are very fragile as humans, but they also showed us that there is a need for us to go into a self-authority, be it our health, be it our work, be it our life, be it our relationships. We have to step into a more conscious stance with what we're deciding, because we just found out that these things are not to be taken for granted, that we cannot just expect the world to go on and on and on like it always does. And this produces a lot of cognitive dissonance in us. Our ego feels safer with familiarity with things that are normal. And so it experiences this as a very troubling time. And adding to all of this is the confusion that is here in our world, on the political stage, on the environmental, on the social stage. Everything seems to be in a flux right now. Lots of changes in values. We are recognizing what's truly important to us, or maybe not. But this is exactly where this bifurcation is taking place. It is asking us to self-select. It is asking us in this time where reality kind of splits into two. Yeah, so how do I mean this? The reality that one part of the population sees can be severely different from the reality that another part of the population experiences. And on the outer level, that is taking place right now. That is the actual bifurcation. But it has an effect on us internally as well. And that is the topic of this subject, of this solstice. All right, the topic is to wake up to this choice. All right, not necessarily to all the fear that is being triggered in us and the fact that life cannot be controlled, and that there are things out there that we just call life, all right, that happen to all of us, but more so to the fact that in this time right now where there seem to form factions, okay, factions where one part of the population is extremely fear conditioned and the other part is recognizing manipulation or mind control or some kind of something that doesn't feel true. All right, and this is basically now what we have to face. So this week here, where these solstice energies come to a pinnacle, this is a tricky week for us, especially for energetically sensitives, because we can feel that something in us is responding. We are tired, we are tangled up, we almost feel desperate, we almost feel there's a grief there. It's like this loss of innocence to a certain degree, where we thought we could just do our life as we planned it out, or in many of our cases as other people have planned it out for us. And somehow, all that got us so tangled up in the politics of life that we have forgotten that this is all about us making a conscious choice as to whom we want to experience this life as. And so from this energetic point of view, solstice energies always bring in a power struggle. Yes, I called this shift change earlier. It's an internal, and in our world right now, also an external power struggle between certain types of energies. The energies that want to maintain, that want to control, that want to, keep things safe, that want to protect also, so the intentions are not all bad. And then the other energy in us that wants to progress, that wants to grow, that wants to grow up, that wants innovation, that wants progress. And right now here, these next 6 days, we're going to be caught right in between. And in us, this power struggle always plays out as masculine, feminine battle, if you will. So we are right now here in the Northern Hemisphere confronted with the unhealthy feminine energies, where feminine energies can't come to an expression. I've heard a YouTuber say something yesterday that really stuck with me. He was talking about women turning into beta males. And at first I felt offended, but then I had to actually agree. Yeah, so this isn't about men and women, but it is about how we use feminine energies. And an unhealthy feminine energy is basically used in a masculine way. And so here on the northern hemisphere, the pivotal shift that is happening here is that we sort this better, and that we understand that our feminine energies that are there to nurture things, to grow things, to progress things, yeah, to really sort of allow things to expand, that they need a certain degree, yeah, namely 50%. So if we are female, then it'd be more like 40%. If we're male, it'd be more like 60%. But the other half needs to be there as well. So we need to work on allowing healthy masculine energies come back in, so that this progress can be more directed, more decisive, and also more realistic to a certain degree, in a way that there is a protection, in a way that it feels secure. In the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. Here, people are experiencing the unhealthy expressions of masculine energy. We experience this all over the planet due to certain societal structures that we have, but internally, yes, people experience this, sort of solely focused on protection, on rationality, and the healthy feminine energies need to come back in. They need to be added to the decision making. What can expand, what can grow, what can build. All right, so not to confuse you here, this is important to mention that we have this split on our planet, but the overall point is that we need to recognize that there is a battle going on within ourselves. And this battle is also going on the outside. We see this in politics. And those of you who are trained to see energies, who have access to the etheric, will also see this very clearly in the etheric, this battle of light and dark forces. Please go to my YouTube channel and get some more information about this if you want to understand this in a less sort of mystical way. Okay, there's explanations for this. So this week now in particular is where all this becomes more visible for us. It's this waking up theme. We're recognizing this, and it stuns us. It puts us into this place of a freeze, and it feels not good. Things are not progressing. Things are not moving forward. No matter where you're at, northern or southern hemisphere, we are sort of blocked, okay? And this has a severe effect on our moods, on our emotions, but also on our body. And many of you energetically sensitives also experience a really strong heaviness around being in 3D altogether. I don't know if you can relate to this. We can share about this here in a little bit when the energy tips are done. So this wrench in the system that we all feel right now, this enormous, heavy, tired sort of feel around this time, right? It has to do with this inner battle, this inner dissonance, your inner duality. There are things fighting in you, and this tires you out. So the trick now, yes, the tip really how to deal with this is, number one, do not avoid this. Okay, recognize this, really become present about these opposing inner energies that are working. Write it down, really work with them, do not avoid them. Okay, and once you can see what it is in you that is actually conflicting, then work on your energy management. Energy management is something that I teach here within this transCODES community, as sort of learning how to shift your own energy, how to shift from a lower vibratory place or state into a higher vibratory place. And for that, you need to know what this lower state is that you get stuck in. So if it's fear, for instance, then you need to understand that energetically, what can relieve you out of fear is to actually express it, is to actually go into facing that fear and maybe also expressing your anger or your desperation around this. Yeah, there's a lot of us who can feel their resentments right now, and this has to do with getting stuck, getting stunned by fear. All right, we start, our ego starts to blame others. We do this sort of blame shifting. You can see this in the media as well. So we need to see through that. And the tip, really, the energy management tip here is to really be present, okay, and recognize what it is that is going into avoidance, because this is where your fear trigger gets pulled, okay. And you will see this here in our collective now, especially in this next week. It's already started in many places that people are very trigger happy. All right, they cannot handle it. They cannot handle this kind of higher vibratory sort of challenge. And why do I call this a higher vibratory challenge? Because the actual idea here is that when we step into our self-authority, when we wake up to things, that we stop externalizing everything to this faction or that faction, that we go within and that we recognize what it is that is important to us, what matters to us, who we want to experience this lifetime as, and to come up with new creative solutions, new ways, a new future for us. And this requires us to go into this sort of inventory place where we need to set realistic goals, where we need to take a little bit of a break. Yeah, you'll see this by the end of June. There's going to be this feeling of a total stillstand everywhere. And we have this every year. Okay, so this is seasonal. This comes with the solstice and eclipse season. Yeah, that we sort of go into something that I often call spiritual laziness. We need to wake up. We need to recognize that this power that we have as humans to transmute our fear and our pain into something new, into something, yeah, that's higher in vibratory rate, that this power needs to become aware of. We need to really expand into this and recognize that if we want to be in charge of our own life, our own karma, we need to work with our masculine and feminine expressions. We need to go inward. We need to stop blaming things on others or authorities, okay? Because it is our sort of childish way of wanting others, some higher authority, even, God or divinity, to give us the answers. And this is really what we need to wake up. This is where this bifurcation takes place. So I am contextualizing this as a very positive thing for our overall collective development, because we're being forced to do this, because we're being forced to recognize that being awakened is a consequence of hard work with ourselves. Not hard, but hard. It involves our heart. It is a consequence of persistence, of cultivating this inner connection, of communicating with our own true self. Being woke, guys, is the easy way. That's an ego cop-out. That is just sort of taking outer social values and, putting yourself into one of the factions. What we need to do is to wake up to our own faction, okay? And that has to do with us being awake and not woke. There's, by the way, a truth talk about this that I did about a year ago. So how can we manage our masculine, feminine energies a little better? How does this play out if you're not familiar with energies? Masculine energies want to protect things, they want to control things, they want to direct things. And it's very important that we have that. It brings in decisiveness. We need that right now. Feminine energies bring the creative expansion and the nurturing, the heart, and the patience to see something grow. And we need that too. So the best tip that I can give to you right now is to really go into this unified, balanced inner state where you really look at, how do I express this feminine part? I'm not talking about males, females, or genders. I'm talking about inner energies. How am I allowing this far side, this willingness to nurture, to cultivate something, to see something grow? How can I balance this with decisiveness, with an action plan, with making things more realistic, with keeping things secure? Yeah, it's just one of the biggest questions for all of us here in this lifetime. All right, and remember that your soul knew that. Your soul knew that you would get to this place here at this time. So it's about waking up. This concludes the energy tips here for this special time. There's going to be a transcript. If you are not yet part of my email list, sign up, because I am also talking about the solstice energies a little more and energy management in there. Yeah, you can find this either on the website or I'll post the email, the newsletter list here. So let's move on here and share a little bit. In about 10 minutes, we start the energy meditation. I picked step 5 from our Sacred Self-Healing Experience, the inner experience of your higher self. Course, yeah, that is grace. Grace is not the religious grace. Grace is an actual energy form, and it has to do with unconditionality, and it has to do with us remembering what brought us into existence. And therefore also what can strengthen and empower us when we remember this part in us. We can call on this part, and it can bring in higher perception. It can bring in new solutions. It can bring in new ways. It can help us to let go of what we no longer need. Surrender. And surrender is what we need right now. Okay? Not succumbing. No. Waking up has nothing to do with succumbing. It has to do with surrendering our ego. So to a certain degree, yeah, this time is ego healing time, guys. Yeah, we need to learn to rely on our higher power, and in order to become able to do this, we need to have a reference feeling for this. We need to know that it's there, and this is what this energy meditation here always comes with a workbook and exercises when you're part of the course. Shows us. It shows us how to connect with that part and how to experience it for ourselves. So guys, how is this going for you? How is this feeling your ego rebelling, feeling this inner power struggle, maybe feeling issues with masculine and feminine expressions in your life, feeling stunned, feeling tired, feeling exhausted from this sort of, your machine, your engine going into this overdrive with no progress and no solutions. How is this going for you guys? Does anybody want to share? How do you feel this physically right now? Does anybody feel this tiredness, this exhaustion, or perhaps on the emotional level, this grievance or heaviness or sadness somehow? Or does anybody feel on a mental level these cognitive dissonances that I mentioned, where you constantly go back and forth and can't come to any conclusion? All of the above. Yeah. Thanks, Becky. Yes, we are here in good company. Okay, thanks, guys. You are connecting with all of this. Yes. Give this a voice, guys. Do not hide this. It's not just you. Remember, go into it. Okay? Become aware of it. Spiritually, it affects us in a way that we doubt, that we question, that we feel like abandoned, left alone. That's why it's so important to voice this, to come out, yes, to socialize with like-minded. We're not woo-woo people. We're normal people here. Just talking about energies, recognizing that there's something else other than what we can see in 3D that affects us. Yes, Charlize, that's a very good way to describe this. Feeling pinned down, that's the heaviness of our 3D, right? And being stuck in the spider web, yeah, screwed either way. No matter where you go, yeah, it wouldn't resolve. Nothing would resolve. Being caught in between a rock and a hard place, as I described this the last couple of 2 weeks. Yes, Annette, really tired. And physical pain as well. Yeah, where's this pain coming from? Those of you who are experiencing pain on a physical level, can you describe this? Just so that everybody knows that they're not alone. Also, etherically, guys, those of you who are energetically sensitive, and you might not be aware of this, your dreams, your sort of half awake, half asleep vision is extremely active right now. Don't be scared, okay? You seeing something that is always going on. But right now, this is, the hardest time for us, of the year, when if we are energetically sensitive. Pain in chest, yes, difficulty breathing, right? Lower back, leg, hip pain also very often, joint pains, pressure on top of the head and on right side. This, Julianne, is something that has to do with these etheric sensations. Anybody here who is experiencing this includes me. You need to work on grounding. You need to pull your crown chakra down. This is too open. So those of us who've been around the new age corner, so to speak, and who were programmed, conditioned, to seek for guidance from up above, you're going to have to consciously work on pulling your 7th chakra, your crown chakra down, because it's too open and it makes you lose contact with the ground. Yes, so this 7th, first chakra imbalance right now is very, very common amongst energetically sensitives. You have to work with this. Grounding would be the fastest way. How do you ground? Breathe, squeeze your butt cheeks, take your shoes off, feel the ground underneath your feet, consciously be present, go out, go into nature. Nature does this for free for you. But yes, you have to consciously work with this. This is conscious energy management. Yeah, and don't think that you have to just suck everything up. Your heart chakra is too open as well. So when I say working with your heart work, okay, you also need to work on this discernment, because that's ultimately what comes in through the masculine and feminine balance. The ability to discern what's yours, what isn't. What comes in from the outside as a distortion, as an overlay, including mind control, including etheric overlay, including spiritual desperation and laziness, as well as what is from within. Yeah, your fear triggers, your inner child, your karmic family issues, mommy issues right now, high in cores. Okay. Yes, pulling the seventh down to normalize the size. This is obviously sort of energy talk, energy lingo. The best way to get a good internal feel for this inner lexicon of sensations, what we practice here at transCODES in these transmissions, and actually had a very big marathon here this last weekend, is to learn how to balance all your chakras. Because when you know how to balance your chakras, you get a feel for size too. And you will notice that your seventh chakra is way out of proportion. So right now, just so you guys know, those of you interested in this energetic vision, a very typical person, yeah, that is experiencing these kind of symptoms that you were describing, has a very crunched first chakra, security, yeah, survival, fear, has a very, very contracted second chakra, not wanting to connect with big emotions, repressing fear, avoiding pain. An enlarged third chakra, solar plexus energies. Don't let other people tell you that solar plexus energies connect you with your inner power. That's complete BS. Those people don't know what they're talking about. Your solar plexus connects you with your ego power, with your willpower, but not with your inner power. All right, so an enlarged solar plexus, which leads to this overpowered masculine energy, this unhealthy masculine energy in us that wants to control, that wants to protect. And that then, really crunches your heart chakra, and then your heart chakra tries to, like, oh, I can't be angry, I can't be sad, I can't be, this or this or that. So I need to embrace everybody else in. So the way this looks like, if you look at it from the side, is that people have this huge enlarged heart chakra in front of them and completely absent on the backside. This needs to be balanced. This needs to come back into symmetry. A fifth chakra that is completely suffocated right now. Yeah, a lot of people feel there's also a neck pain, all this critical inner voice that is driving you batty, all the judgment. A sixth chakra that is dystrophied from not actually cultivating things such as meditation, things such as present moment awareness. And a seventh chakra that is wide open, pointing forward and upward. Okay, trying to find answers out there. And when you do a chakra balancing, then you will notice this. You will notice how this is all out of whack. Well, how it's supposed to look like is kind of like a string of pearls, all right? Sort of equal, symmetrical flow, all right? And obviously, if this is all sort of lingo for you, I apologize. I have extensive writing and extensive teaching and courses, that really help a person to experience this for themselves. So I'm not just talking things that I've heard somewhere. Here is where you can actually learn this to do yourself. So yes, pulling down your seventh chakra, your crown chakra, will normalize it in size a little bit, but you also have to pull it inward. Yeah, this fixation on the future, this fixation on outward guidance also makes it forward leaning. So it helps to see sort of your energy body in this 3D sort of coordinate XYZ way. And it all triangulates around your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is your heart center. That's the center of all your energy body, if you will, including not just the physical chakras, but also the ones that are outside of your body, all right? And when that's out of whack, guys, that's when everything else gets out of whack. So as soon as you pay attention to your chakras, They begin to balance. They want this. Let your energy do what it's best. It can do this. You just have to pay attention to it. You have to pay attention to yourself. And avoidance or blame shifting or externalizing your power cannot help you with this, guys. It makes it worse. Please use the opportunity. I offer free initial energy coaching sessions where, if you've never actually heard anything about this, or if you really want to know how to work this, then email me or use the link that I have on my website to schedule this talk with me, where I can show you what you need to work on. But we also have a lot of these free things, and that's why we do these energy meditations here every day. So welcome, to cultivate this here in our daily sacred self, at least once a day, twice a day, on some days, with trained energy healers like myself. All right, so today we're going to go into grace, and I want to mention that on Saturday I will do the free energy session called Connect with Your True Self, something that I have been doing every month for almost 10 years now. Feel invited. Invite anybody you think could benefit from this. The closer we get to the actual solstice on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all right, the more we will need to cultivate this. And those of you who are full-on heart warriors, you might want to join us here in a karmic collective clearing on Friday night, or a 3-day Grace Soul Monad Marathon, spiritual balancing, really going into this part of you and learning how to experience this for yourself. So please check my website for all this. Sorry for this spiel, but I don't really have social media marketing, and so I rely on you guys, on mouth to mouth. So I have to inform you about these things. So let's take a deep breather. Let's relax. Lean back. I'm going to start the 20-minute energy meditation here. For those of you who are not used to being in this place and cultivating this place, I can imagine that it might actually be a bit cringy to see this person there with eyes closed. I don't know if it's real or tears all down my cheek. But this is exactly what a too large third chakra does to a person. It feels cringy to go into this soft, intimate space with ourselves. So healthy masculine energy, healthy feminine energy means to have the courage to trust in your inner guidance. Whatever that inner guidance is that is coming forward for you. But it has to come from the heart, guys. It can't come from your solar plexus. Any comments, anything you guys would like to add or share? Thank you for joining me, and also all these other wonderful energy healers here in our Sacred Self-Healing community who help you cultivating present moment awareness and to show you what this courage looks like and what it feels like when you're connected with your heart. The peace, Yes, the peace. The peace is the absence of inner conflict. Always remember that. And in that place, that's where you can hear your inner guidance. When you are conflicted within, when you have power struggles within, when you're caught in cognitive dissonances, mood swings, physical pain, or spiritual abandonment, you cannot hear your inner guidance. Thank you, guys. Come to the free energy session on Saturday at noon, and talk to your true self. Do it yourself, guys. Self-authority. Wake up. It's all right in there. Love you guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing the videos, for sharing the links, for making this accessible.